Good morning. This is Bill from Auto Europa Naples, and I'm lucky enough today to have for the second day in a row one of my favorite cars. Although yesterday, Saab was, truly the '08 isn't one of my favorite Saabs. If it's not, a two-stroke or a 99 or a 900, I love Saabs, but that's not the one. In this case, this is great. I absolutely love having construction next door. It's one of the finest things for me. I just absolutely enjoy it. I like the hissing sounds, the rumbling of diesels, the construction clanging. Doesn't seem that I can get away from it. Roosters, ducks, turkeys, whatever. I don't know. I just want to go somewhere where there's peace. I have this dream, a double dream. One, I might go to Alaska and sell snowmobiles. That could be fun. Otherwise, I'm going to make enough money to go to a cabin in the wilderness somewhere and not let anyone within rifle range, and then I will be very happy. Anyway, I digress. So one of my favorite cars of all time is the Lincoln Town Car, which hasn't been around as long as you think. There have been cars named Town Car since, God knows, the 1920s and 30s, but Lincoln didn't officially make a town car until 1981. That was truly the first badged car as a Lincoln Town Car. They had, Continental. It was all sort of weird trickery and smoke and mirrors with Ford names and corporate stuff. So, even though it wasn't around, the '81 Lincoln Town Car was the first. And this is the third generation only of Lincoln Town Cars, which they made for a very long time. In fact, 1998 all the way through 2011 before they stopped making it altogether, and was the longest running car made in North America. So, of course, it's an incredible machine. It truly is. As a car guy, I put it in one of the top 5 most dependable platforms of all time. That has to be topped by the W123 Mercedes, the diesels. I mean, those things are just indestructible. But the Town Car comes close. I mean, you can put 400,000 or 500,000 miles on these things, and they just keep coming. That's why they're so widely used in executive cars and livery services, and why those companies really lamented the demise of Town Car. They were just an absolute mainstay. They're semi-elegant, they're very, very spacious, they ride like a cloud, and they are just a joy to pilot around. It's based on the Panther platform, which is truly one of the last body-on-frame, full-sized American cars made in the traditional American car way. It has a lot of updates for '05. They use a Watts linkage in the rear suspension to make it smoother. They changed from recirculating ball to rack and pinion. They updated it a little bit. They added some Euro styling to it. They still maintain that big radiator grille in front, and fortunately brought back the hood ornament. That had gone away for a few years. See, my detailer doesn't make them straight, which drives me nuts. Anyway, nice big headlight assemblies, beautiful alloy wheels, and I have to say that this particular example, when I saw it as a trade-in at the Mercedes store, I thought, it's a little too miley, even though it looks great, it's just... And then I sort of got into it and looked around it, looked at the tires, drove it, and I came to the conclusion that this was like the finest town car that I had ever driven, which is saying something because I love these things. Anyway, it's pearl white outside, a lovely color. It's the Signature Limited, which gives you that big sunroof and some other amenities. And I don't know, I just dig this thing. Let's get right into it. So very traditional style. We can use our little key fob here to pop the trunk, which comes up quite nicely with a squeak like from a haunted house. But anyway, no jokes about the bodies. Let's just put those aside. You can fit a lot of stuff in here again, which is why the livery services loved it. I mean, you get suitcase after suitcase after suitcase, no issue. It's deep. It's just a fantastic area to store stuff. You could be a general contractor and drive a town car. Here's one of my favorite little things in these. At some point, the federal government mandated that there needed to be an interior trunk relief in a, sort of mafia fighting move. So if you're locked in this thing, look at this thing. So the poor little guy in here sees this glow-in-the-dark whatchamacallit, pull handle. He knows he can just yank this thing and escape to freedom and run away. I mean, why does it have him running away? I mean, it just seems sort of strange. So I guess anyway, that's how you escape if you're stuck in the trunk and they haven't quite killed you yet. In here, I don't know what we have, a spare tire? Yeah, with that little donut. Spare tire in there, jacking hardware. God, this is also vintage American, the way this works. I just love it. And when you put it down, it of course sucks the trunk closed in a very nice manner. I love how Ford also kept the little keypad thing going. So if you know your key code, you're never going to get locked out of your car. Nice stuff. All right, so here we go. At a certain point, Town Cars moved from having, like 460 cubic inch big blocks to this 4.6 liter V8 that has very performance roots out of the Mustangs and, Cobras and that sort of thing. A terrific engine. Puts out a lot more torque than it does horsepower, so it really motivates this. The thing weighs like 5,000 pounds. Motivates it down the road really well. It's a smooth, torquey V8, just absolutely lovely, quiet, balanced, never feels stressed. Just a fantastic engine in this car. Mates with a pretty heavy-duty 4-speed automatic. Again, a blast from the past, but incredibly smooth shifting and lovely to drive. You see stuff like this, the Motorcraft battery in here, the Michelin tires. You just instantly know that the guy who owned this thing really maintained it properly at the dealership and, had all the services done. You can just tell. You drive this thing, it feels like it's got 10,000 miles on it. Looks like you do have to put the hood down a bit harder. Have a look in the back seat. Okay, so back here we have expanses of leather. So several cows obviously gave their life to have this car exist. You can see everything absolutely lovely, mint. You've got this faux, burl wood in here with the titanium trim, but it's all very nicely polished. It's very traditional American. They sort of toned everything down. I mean, all this used to be way more chromy. They used to have big velour seats, plush carpet that buried your feet, and so the Europeans sort of forced Lincoln to put that away, but it's fine. It works, and it works well. It's nice, smooth, comfortable place to be. You have some map pockets in the back of the seats. You got a little place for your rear passengers to stick their 9mm, and everyone's going to be real happy. I think we have an actual genuine ashtray. We do, and maybe it's got a light in it. That seems sort of counterproductive. Lovely little switches with the black and the surrounds. Very nicely put together. You can really tell Ford and Lincoln had their crap together. Now, I don't know why they used door handles that came off a 50s Armana refrigerator, but they did. And, they work okay with the car, but they are a bit silly. Anyway. All right, inside up front. This, again, one of the last cars, or certainly full-size sedans in the world, where you can lift up the center console and fit a third smaller passenger between the two front seat passengers. So this becomes a 6-passenger vehicle. And again, that's why the livery guys loved it. When you think how many of these cars transported, VIPs or brides or gangsters or senators or, people on their way to criminal court, it is, truly an epic thing. I like that they moved the seat controls up into the door Mercedes style. They're easier to get to. Window controls, mirror controls, fuel and trunk release. Little map pocket here, little pocket again. Now there is a nice spot for your sidearm. And anyway, everything nice and lovely. The seats are heated again because it's the Signature Limited. They've got memory. I like how you can lock the trunk so no unmentionables can get at it. Look at that up top. We got a nice big sunroof. Let's fire this thing up. And the car seals very well. I mean, the way you get in and close the door, it just goes to instant silence, almost Lexus style. Put the seat belts on. Okay, all very nice. So you can see the seat belts are adjustable. You can move those up or down by pressing this little guy. So I'm short, so I'm going to put it down a little bit. You've got automatic headlamps over here. You've got power pedals, so when I hit those, you can move the, let's see if we can see that. Look at that. Very, very cool. So You can make it suit your driving style. If you like to be further back like I do, but you're a short guy, it works good because you can move the pedals back. You can turn off your traction control there if you want to do donuts in the Walmart parking lot. You've got all your cruise control stuff on the steering wheel with the volume control. Very nicely, subdued, boring instrument cluster. That's fine. 120 mile an hour speedo. You got a little digital stuff off to the left. You got some, let's see what we got here. We can do our distance to empty. We can average speed 34. That sounds right for a guy like Matlock. English metric, fuel economy. Look at that, 20 miles to the gallon average. Not bad for a big V8 powered Panther platform, rolling behemoth. You got a very traditional column shifter. You can turn off your overdrive with the button if you need to go up a hill or something. Nice instrument, or infotainment thing here. You've got the required analog clock for anything that calls itself a luxury car. You've got more expanses of the faux burl wood. You've got real wood on the steering wheel, which is nice. In-dash CD changer with what the hell does that say? I can't even read it. Sound mark. So yeah, pretty good CD changer. I don't think it has SAT. No SAT. You got your climate control down here, dual side. Nice stuff. I don't know what that is, a sensor. I can't even reach over here, it's so far away, but there's all your books in there. We got the keys with it, the double set. It's just, the way this thing came. Up here you've got, when you got your compass, it gives you the whole word. I like that, south. You don't just have an S. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, anyway, south. And let's see what else we got. Mode, oil life. Yeah, so mode and oil life. Also, you can turn off your parking sensors here if they're beeping and annoying you. You got your HomeLink garage door, and there's the sunroof going back. So if you want to let in some of the open air, you can do that. Look at that. You can see, again, my detailer didn't clean the jams in the sunroof. I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. Just put that forward and go for a drive. Let's see what else we got. We got an ashtray that doesn't feel particularly well made, but fine. You got a power outlet down there, lovely. This opening center console with your, I don't know when, did people still use coins in toll booths? Maybe they did in 05, but nice spot to put a bunch of different crap. And everyone's gonna be happy. Oh, look at this, flip out, fold out cup holders. Lovely. All right, let's go for a spin. Now this is where the town car comes into its own. First of all, I like the little hood ornament leading the way. Secondly, the smoothness of this car is epic. Absolutely epic. I mean, you feel like you are just floating along. And it's not horrible in terms of, responsiveness or handling. It doesn't give you the giant, awful body roll that some of these big cars do. But man, do you have this nice detachment from the road. Maybe not the way that Maybach does, but in its own way, just fantastic. I mean, it just smooths out the bumps. There you feel the power of the V8 is just perfect. It's fine for this car. The steering, again, having moved to rack and pinion is nice. It assists, but not, it's not a pinky wheel like the old town cars. And it's just lovely. You've got these supportive leather seats. I took this thing, why am I in second gear? I took this thing down the interstate, 85, 90 miles an hour, and it was like on train rails. You just glide. I mean, look at it this way. I mean, hundreds of thousands of very old people can't be wrong. They've had 70 to 90 years of experience with life. They know what's good. They know what's nice, and a lot of them pick town cars. So don't besmirch them for that. You don't see them running around in Mini Coopers. Those guys, they know how to live. All right, anyway, there it is. This is a 2005 Lincoln Town Car Signature Limited, top of the line trim package in fantastic condition. I believe it's a one-owner car, was a Mercedes-Benz trade-in, has obviously been maintained by somebody who cared, and I tell you, you're not going to find a better car out there. I don't care what the odometer says. 10,000 miles, fine. This thing's better. and it'll run for another 200 or 300 with no problems if you keep it maintained. So again, there it is. Fantastic car. Appreciate you looking, and we'll see you with the next one. Take care. Did I give the... I didn't. If you have an interest in it, give us a call, 239-298-8000, on the web at aenaples.com. Thanks so much, and we'll see you with the next one.